Hey guys, what is going on? WinslettXIII here once again in another part of No One But You. In the last part, we had our first day back at school after summer vacation, and we were introduced to a new teacher, and it seems that Shiro and Yui have not returned yet. It just seems like it's the three of us, Ryo, her, and me. And I'm a little concerned about our friendship with Ryo, to be perfectly honest. And I think Hideaki is also having a little bit of worry about it, but at the same time, if he can get this in order and we don't lie to her or we don't try and force her away for certain things could work out okay. We'll play that by ear. With my first identity crisis of the day completed, I headed to school early, once again finding the campus almost empty as I entered. Although a few students had arrived before me, I was among the first, a feat my old self would never have been capable of. Still, maybe I should start heading to school a bit later. Janatsu wasn't at the bridge again, presumably because it's so early, and none of my friends are here this early. Who am I kidding? Ryo's the only one who gets to school after I do. The others simply aren't attending. I heard that Shiro's family was in financial trouble, and that they had resigned themselves to isolate in order to avoid being found by the people they owed money. Oh, gosh. Ooh, that's bad. Shiro refuses to tell me any more than that, and since we haven't been in contact even once, Shiro has gotten reason to skip school. But as for Yui... I wonder... Curious to see if my other absent classmate had decided to attend, I checked out Yui's favorite hangout. And surely enough, as I approached the bench of which she could usually be found, a certain redhead noticed my arrival. Well, I don't believe it. What's wrong, Yui? I think my eyes are going bad, and maybe my ears too. I could have sworn I saw Hideaki. Is it really that strange for me to be at school early? There it is again. Auditory hallucinations are never a good sign. Jeez, Yui and her jokes. Anyone else would think she didn't want to talk to me. Hey, I don't think I'm hallucinating on the rare occasion that you actually attend class. Wow, the hallucinations actually responded. I need to go to the hospital ASAP. Following through with her gag until the end, Yui left the courtyard, leaving me all alone. Sheesh, this must be how Ryo feels. We don't see each other all summer, and Yui's reaction is to act like I'm not even here. She may be an even worse friend than I am. Oh, Jesus, that was bad. Oh man, I feel really bad. I really, see, this is the whole thing. I really haven't, because I forced myself down the Megami path, I really haven't gotten to know Yui or Shiro, and hardly Ryo. I was able to hang out with him once, but it's because I was so narrow in my choices, I'm feeling really bad that I haven't kept up with some of these characters. Yui was in Germany. I kind of want to know what she was doing over there. And Shiro, with this, now I've learned that she has financial debt. I'm a little concerned about that. These are characters that I kind of like, that I have just been sort of blowing off for this one pink-haired chick. Now, obviously, I'm doing this as a playthrough for that specific reason, but, it puts it into perspective for me a little bit that, yeah, maybe I have been sort of neglecting things. And even still, this mirrors my real life, too. There's some friends that I do feel like maybe I should talk to more. Because, I either take it for granted or, life is just so busy with other things that you sort of forget about it. I don't know. Maybe it's the most important things that count, though. It's a very difficult topic. It's very, very heavy for what we, go through in our lives. Somewhat irritated by Yui's prank, I wandered around the school for a while before heading to my classroom. More students had arrived during my side venture, including most of my friends, who had gathered around my seat. With only Shiro still absent, the rest of the pack had gathered. Yo, Hide, what kept you? Oh, Hideaki, when did you get here? Ryo and Yuri each greet me in a manner of speaking, and I'm approached by the trio. I knew I should have picked you up this morning, Aki. You barely even made it to class before the bell. Oi, oi. That's very Japanese. It's more like, hey, hey. I've been here for a while now. You guys are the ones who are late. Oh, you mean that wasn't a hallucination? I guess I don't need to go to the hospital after all. Gah, this girl. So, Hideaki waking up early nowadays, huh? What a waste. Man, if I were you, I'd refuse to get out of bed without a good morning kiss. Oh, good idea. You should give that a try, Rio. Really? Yeah. Don't you think it would be nice to dream forever? Oh, burn! Wait, when did these two kind of become friends? I guess, there was, they had a 5-minute conversation when she poured, a drink all over her. Or him, sorry. Oh, burn. I like Yui much better when I'm not her target. I'd have to agree with Yui. It does sound like a good idea. Aki, make sure you sleep in tomorrow, okay? Oh, no you don't. I'm already wary enough of Megami entering my home while I sleep. Hear that, Hideaki? Megami's telling you to dream forever. No, Rio. She's obviously offering to wake Hideaki up. Honestly, what kind of twisted person would associate sleeping in with resting for all eternity? What? But you just... Screw you guys. Take it, Rio. Suck it. See, this is why I like these characters. This is really, really cool. Having endured emotional blow after blow, Rio ran out of the classroom. Wow, he exited life there. How about that? Good grief. Was he always so weak? I think Rio's feeling a little vulnerable after summer break. Or maybe just jealous because Megami took you away from him. Not bothering to ask for elaboration, Yui took her seat, anticipating that class would start before long. Megami appears to be thinking to herself as she showed a conflicted expression. What's wrong, Megami? Oh, nothing. I was just wondering if I should give Rio back some of his Hidi time. Oi, oi. Yeah, see, where did all this Japanese just randomly get thrown in here? Don't treat time with me like some kind of currency. Oh, you know that they've been fucking doing that since you got here, dude. Didn't that say August? I'm fairly sure this is broken. I'm fairly sure that's broken. I don't know what's going on anymore. Whatever this is, they need to fix this, because I have no idea what day it is anymore. Though, truth be told, if Megami split our alone time with Rio, I think we'd all get out of this with a little more sanity. And you know what? That was not our idea. We didn't have to mention it to her. She actually picked that up. That is definitely not something that Yandere would do. All right, everyone, take your seats. While Megami lost herself in thought, our teacher entered the classroom, lightly pushing Rio inside ahead of him. Although the boys in class showed disgusted looks as they heard our new teacher's voice, they did as he said, as did the girls. Mr. Ketsuna smiled brightly as he faced all the girls in the class, stopping to greet several of them personally and bidding them a good morning. He then reached his desk, pulled out the class roster, and began to read through our names. Ugh, what a pedo. Did you see the way he greeted the girls? What kind of favoritism is this? Someone lend me my compass. The next time he touches me, that bastard's going down. What, Rio? I guess things will go south. I guess that's how I'm supposed to look at it, right? As I listened to the murmurs of dissatisfaction from the male students in our class, including one familiar voice, I remembered the waves our new teachers had from yesterday. Showing no interest whatsoever in the male students, he immediately focused his attention on the girls in our class, earning ample malice from the class as a whole. Now, this is something that is really, really frowned upon. Obviously, you could say that it's a lot easier to talk to girls or whatever, but yeah, no. If it's that blatantly obvious, I'm amazed that he even got anywhere close to becoming a teacher. What I remembered clearly above all else, however, was how he reacted to Megami's name. Oh gosh, I'm gonna butcher her last name. Amamiya Shiro. With Shiro still absent, Mr. Ketsuna briefly glanced around the room, looking for any unfamiliar faces. Although he failed to spot Shiro, Mr. Ketsuna did briefly set his eyes on Yui, to whom he winked subtly. Ugh, gross. That bastard, he is so dead. Yui, unaffected by Mr. Ketsuna's charm, contorted her face in reaction to his gesture. Ryo, on the other hand, seemed to be steadily losing it. Ayumi Ryo? Go fuck yourself. Get him, Ryo. Principal's office, now. Without batting an eye, Mr. Ketsuna responded to Ryo's seething hatred with a simple command. Wow, this guy must be used to being hated, given how he handled Ryo. Not that I can blame Ryo. This guy is making himself an easy target for the guys, so someone with as little control as Ryo was bound to get in this situation eventually. Next we have, as Mr. Ketsuna made his way down the roster, he soon allowed a devious smirk to run across his face. Hinohara Megumi. Calling her name with unmistakable pleasure, Mr. Ketsuna looked around the classroom briefly before landing on the girl in question. I followed his gaze and looked at Megumi, only then realizing that she was frozen stiff. Megumi hadn't said a word since the teacher arrived, and I assumed that it was because of her outstanding classroom manner. Looking at her now, however... Come on now, Megumi. If you don't respond, you're going to be mocked as absent. Despite clearly knowing who she was, Mr. Ketsuna continued to leer at Megumi, as though provoking her to speak. Okay, so... we've got a fucking creepy-ass teacher after our girlfriend. And it sounds like there's a past. Like, this is bad. Oh, Jesus. But Megumi, the usually cheerful, boisterous, outgoing leader of our class, remained silent. When Megumi finally opened her mouth, only a single word made it out. Her tone of voice, usually energetic and carefree, was laced with fear, if not hatred. Whatever her previous experience was with this teacher, it couldn't be good. Well, I guess that's close enough. Next up, Miss... Mr. Ketsuna continued marking the roll, acting as though the silent exchange between himself and Megumi never happened. Megumi, on the other hand... No, he can't be. Like Ryo before her, Megumi spoke to herself quietly, thrown off by the presence of our new teacher. Unlike Ryo, however, her tone portrayed fear and disbelief. Yo, we need to go talk to her. With our first class for the day coming to an end, the scene before us played itself out in a similar manner to the day before. Paying no mind to the glares from the boys, Mr. Ketsuna invited numerous girls from the class to join him in the staff room, smiling brightly at each and every one of them. A few girls remained behind, including Megumi and Yui, before the majority accepted his invitation without hesitating. Dude, that's our new homeroom teacher? I should have stayed in Germany. The second Mr. Ketsuna left the classroom, he came over to my desk, expressing her disgust for our new teacher. Not a fan, Yui? Most of the girls in class seem to like him. Most of the girls in class are frickin' idiots who can't see past that cretin's appearance. Mark my words, Hideaki, that man is trouble. No need to tell me twice. One look at Megumi and I... As Megumi name came to mind, I realized that Megumi hadn't moved from her desk. She was still sitting up straight, her eyes glued to the textbook in front of her, as though she didn't even realize that the lesson was over. Megumi? I walked over to Megumi's desk and tapped her on the shoulder. Yeah! Whoa, Megumi, calm down. It's just me. Hideaki? Oh, I'm sorry. You scared me. Right back at you. What's wrong? You've been zoning out since the moment class started. Megumi averted her eyes as she listened to my question. It's nothing. I was just surprised by our new teacher, that's all. I figured that much out on my own. Do you two know each other, Megumi? Maybe bit her lip as she thought about responding. You could say that. Another half-hearted answer. This girl really doesn't want to be straight with me, does she? I guess I'll have to be a little bit more forceful. Megumi, you... I have to go. Before I could so much as finish speaking, Megumi jumped out from her seat and ran out of the classroom. Damn, too late. I guess I'll have to ask her later. Seriously, what is going on here? I can understand Ryo being jealous, but Yui's warning and Megumi's reaction? Not to mention Chinatsu's absence, or the fact that Shiro is afraid to leave her own home. We're only 2 days into the new semester, and already it feels like everything is falling apart. What? Like, wow. Okay. So, lots of shit. Alright, so it seems like we're jumping forward. I swear to God, it is not July. Oh, gosh. Yeah, no, there's no way. We were like, oh, jeez, whatever. I'm not gonna worry about the days passing, but I don't know. I'm really scared. You know, like this is bad. Now, if I think back to a couple of parts ago when I was like, she's sort of given me hints about her past a little bit. I originally thought that the girl that she was, you know, like missing or whatever, that used to go to the school, the one that she thought was a ghost, which I thought was her friend Chinatsu, because I still believe that Chinatsu is a ghost. But on the other hand, what if this is someone that is dead? Like, she does state that she no longer lives in the world and stuff like that. What if this is someone close to Megumi that this teacher may have had a part in, or was like, what do you call it? Accused of doing something terrible, but there wasn't enough evidence or anything like that to really prove that he was the one that did it. And now it just so happens that he's appeared in her classroom and he's got this weird twisted feeling and thought. I don't know, guys. That's pretty scary. That's pretty sketch. Especially if it's relatively public knowledge. I'd be surprised that a school would let something like that happen. But you never know. Like, life, unfortunately, the world is small. Like, you think of how big the planet is, but the world around you is very, very small. The bubble you cast in society is very, very small comparative to the actual world scale. So, you know, the past either comes back to haunt you or is always still a constant in your life, regardless of how much time has passed. And that, I'm not saying, is a bad thing. It's actually a really good thing, because, you know, it's that bubble that makes you you, and that's fucking fantastic, because every bubble is unique in a sense. People can have the same sized bubbles, but what's inside of them is yours and yours alone, and that's, I think, probably the coolest thing about life in general, you know? But anyway, let's continue on for a little bit more. Over the days since Megumi's first encounter with Mr. Ketsuna, life passed by in a miserable fashion as I'd feared. With our class polarized by our new homeroom teacher, tensions were unusually high, causing everyone without exception to feel on edge. Shiro remained absent, Yui started skipping class more than ever, and Ryo spent an inordinate amount of time outside the principal's office. We all felt the hostility, concern, and jealousy that had become commonplace in our once peaceful classroom. But beyond that, beyond our petty disagreements and differences of opinion, one person suffered from this situation more than any other. Our class representative, Megumi. Megumi, could you fetch some more chalk? And another duster, if you could. Okay. Oh, and stay after class a while, would you? I need some assistance with other matters. Fine. Mr. Ketsuna called on Megumi frequently for even the most menial of tasks, giving the other girls reasons to be jealous of Megumi, while also making her feel uncomfortable. Other students offered to help out, with some asking why Megumi was always being singled out, but the answer was always the same. It's the class representative's responsibility. By claiming that it was her job, Mr. Ketsuna continued to use Megumi's position against her, keeping her after class, telling her to meet him early, and pushing Megumi's friends away. Ooh, God, this is bad. This is really bad. Gosh, maybe it's because I'm older, and like this is a younger. This is just younger kids. This infuriates me. You know, like, I would not stand for this. And you know what? Maybe as like an 18-year-old me rather than the 29-year-old me, you know, like, it's, oh gosh, it just makes me so mad. You have no idea how furious that makes me. Like, it's just gross. It's gross. But anyway, we'll continue on this path next time on Let's Play No One But You. Stay frosty, guys.